So why I stopped following the crowd at 18 is a big question because as humans, typically we do act like sheep. And when I say that, it's like sheep, they're following a herd. You do. Naturally, what everyone else is doing around you, you will do the same thing. It's been proven in experiments is everyone suddenly stands up, you're going to feel weird sat down, you might as well just stand up. And I realised that now, more looking back on my life, but throughout my life, I was a sheep. I was following what other people were doing. Naturally, subconsciously, I would adopt my laugh. I still do that today, to be honest, subconsciously. If I'm around the same type of people and their laughs are like quite unique, I will start laughing like them. I'm like, I don't even know why I'm doing it. And I can understand how easy it is as humans to like, well, what your mate's doing, you just do that as well. And you can seek the validation from that because ultimately, if you're not doing what someone else is doing, it's easy for them to call you out. And it's like, oh shit, then you're going to feel a bit like rejection as a result. But you've got to understand as well in this world that yes, you can easily follow what everyone else is doing. But by doing that, you're living a life of someone else. You're not living a life for yourself. And that is the most important thing in this life because we are all our own character. Life is a video game. You are playing as you. So design something that you want to because as humans, we're here to create. Naturally, we create, but most people spend a whole life just drifting to other people's opinions, validations. And I know this because it was myself in the past included. I spent so much time where I'd be getting in trouble, but I realized now that when I was getting in trouble, I was seeking the actual, for one, the adrenaline of it, but also as well, I love this reputation of what people think of me. Again, just seeking that external validation from other people. But it's so important to understand you are your own character. And typically within a group of friends as well, the people you're around, you will turn into. That is why your environment is everything. And I realized this because I was around loads of smokers before I even started vaping. When I started vaping, I actually hated it. I was probably about 14. I didn't like it at the start, but because I was around these people, it felt like, oh shit, like I should as well. So then I started vaping more. And then naturally I started building up the tolerance. Oh, I quite like it now. And then that turned into a habit where I was vaping for the next 4 years from that, which was ultimately hard to put down. And that ultimate cause came from the environment which I was in. Ultimately, you never blame other people for that. You are accountable for you. And that's why you want to build the person that when your internal is so strong, your environment cannot have any control over you. But typically by that, the people you're around, you'll turn into. So again, using that analogy, if you're around 5 smokers, you will be the 6th. But you can use that from the negative and flip it to the positive. If you're around 6 millionaires and you're surrounded by them every single day, you're going to turn into the 7th. Always. So be careful and where you're putting your focus and your attention to, who you're surrounding yourself around in life, because ultimately if you're just following the crowd and the crowd is not where you want to be, and you are you. If you don't know where you want to be in life, that's okay. You might actually have beliefs in your head that have been impacted from other people. That's why you should spend time with yourself to take that care, to like go on walks, to spend time in solitude, to ask yourself, what do I want with my life? Because there's ultimate realities that you can create for yourself. Your mind is so powerful, but ultimately everyone else, they are influenced by what other people are doing, and you can separate the beliefs of other people because your subconscious, yeah, to actually put it into principle, is 95% of your brain. It's like the behind the scenes, but the behind the scenes is going to lead to the main stage every single time. And the behind the scenes obviously consists of your beliefs that you hold about yourself, and it's formed through the habits, what's being programmed into you, what you're seeing, what you're watching, what you're doing, what other people are telling you as well. This all creates your subconscious, creating your self-worth. This is who I am, and then as a result it will run automatically. But you've got to understand, are the beliefs in your head today, are they truly yours? Because I had to reflect on myself as well. I was like, actually, when I think about it, no, certain things, certain shoes I was wearing, I'm like, I'm wearing these because I've seen someone else wear them. Do I actually really like them? And it's hard because when you're around such like life is like so much going on. It's a high environment, but when you're around so many people, it's easy to get swept into their beliefs. But as a result, you're just going to be a sheep. You're ultimately going to be living a life that you truly don't want inside. So you've got to spend that time for yourself to build something worthwhile, because you don't want to be looking at your life 20 years time and it's something like, why am I in this job? Because that was the path I was going down. I was in a 9-to-5 bricklayer and I didn't really like it, but it felt like the easiest thing to do because I loved the validation of the weekend. I loved the work environment to an extent. Even though I didn't enjoy what I was doing, I was quite happy, I was quite complacent. But if I could imagine myself in the next 20 years, even 2 years after, I was like, I need to get myself out of this. So I took action. I went against the crowds. It's like everyone's seen that photo where everyone's walking down this way and there's that one person going off to the end. Never be afraid to be that person. It might feel scary at first, doubtful, because it's unknown. And it's the unknown which holds people back to just going down that path with everyone else because it's normal. But you've got to realise every successful person in life, they've taken action for themselves. They haven't stuck to what everyone else is doing. Because that's why not everyone is millionaires on this earth. Like there's the 1% that are, and you've got to be willing to be that 1% for yourself. You're doing this for yourself, because otherwise you're going to be swept along and you're just going to be drifting throughout your life. So the ultimate understanding of this is taking the time to, for one, appreciate yourself for who you are, and take time to learn about yourself. Again, going on walks, spending time in solitude, meditating, starting to build a good routine. All of these small things are characteristics that are building evidence for the character that you are creating. And by doing this, you're going to find yourself more. You can trust yourself. You can actually see, hang on, this friend, he might not be a good friend for me. And that's okay. Along the journey to your success, people are going to fall off. That is part of life. Don't cling to them. And if people do call you, oh, you're weird, you're this, whatever, it's because you are doing something unordinary to the normal. But again, it's trusting yourself. Trusting you are for you. If you lose friends along the way, it's okay. You will pick up people that are in the line with where you're going. I know this because I've lived it for myself. At the start, it felt weird. I suddenly went from being that kid who was out every single weekend for like literally most of my life, always out. And then suddenly I was the one who was staying in, I was working, just going gym, building a good life. I was feeling a lot happier inside, but my mates would be calling me like, what are you doing? You're weird. Like, you're not trying to come to this rave? And like, I used to be known for it every single weekend. So for me, it was like, oh, is there something wrong with me? I started doubting myself. But I realized that is their beliefs. Why am I letting their opinions over me create what I want to do? I am me. So I trust in myself. No, I want to build this life for myself of success, of wealth, of freedom. Let me take the actionable steps that I am. And if it's not in line with they are, that's okay. Maybe it's not meant to be on our path. So as a result, I have distanced myself from other people. But on this path to success, I've met people who are very much on the line with this path to success. And that is how the reality works. So understand your environment. Your environment is everything. So be mindful of who is around you, what you're giving your opinions and beliefs to, because you are you. You've got to trust that within, because that is where true power comes from. And when you do truly find yourself, it's like, yeah, right, I've got this goal. Goals are so important. Set that goal, and like, that is for you. That is for you. So work at it with everything. Persistence carries you through so much as a human. You've got to be willing to put in that work on a day-to-day to make it happen. Don't care what other people say, because everyone is going to have their own voice. Everyone is going to have their own opinion. But do you want to be a sheep, or do you truly want to be that one person who has made a name for themselves? So go out there and create for yourself, because it's so important to have that love along the journey, because naturally, the more love you build, you're going to have more respect. Actually, I've trusted myself. Whatever everyone else says, it's okay. Trust yourself, because by you trusting yourself every day, you're going to build more love. You're going to be flowing more in your days. You're going to be living a happier, more meaningful, and as a result, created life for yourself. And eventually, come a few years, it doesn't matter. People will be asking, shit, how'd you do it? Put me on. But ultimately, these are the people who might have been knocking you down when you first started. It's how life works. But trust yourself. Be the odd one out. You want to be the odd one out. If people are calling you weird, you're doing something good. Because typically the magic is always behind what you avoid in life. So look for it. Think, what are you avoiding? What are you putting off? And build something that is worthwhile for yourself as a result.